Before I get into the movie, I want to talk about Art Asylum. It became this infamous company of making bad knockoff films of famous movies. The reason why these films are so bad is because they just don't know what direction they want out of the movie. The writers will be writing a story that makes sense, has some logic, but then when it reaches Act 2 and 3, it just goes into parody, or they need to start the action and they don't care how they get to it. Now, why do people love Spaceballs? It's making fun of the science fiction genre. It goes after all the big names, Star Wars, Star Trek, Planet of the Apes, because it sticks to that idea. When you're watching Spaceballs, it won't switch over to seeing people being eaten in a gory fashion. You'll see a giant maid suck out the atmosphere of a planet. The Asylum movies just do whatever, whenever. Just because you're making a movie about a giant shark and crocodile doesn't mean be crap, be dumb, be stupid, and who cares about it? If you don't care about your movie, the audience won't care about your movie either. One of my favorite shows is Ultraman. The entire franchise is ridiculous when you look at it from its premise. Giant alien dude protecting Earth from giant monsters. But it treats itself serious. Now, the franchise has funny episodes in the shows, and it can look hokey, but it's still an action drama, and the people who write and make the effects do their best in telling that story. You need to pick what side of the coin you want to be on. Total stupidity, which is what Sharknado did and why it worked, or be a genuine movie regardless of your budget. Because I know this movie's budget didn't exist. They had virtually nothing to work with. But you still gotta try. The only thing they really do is hire known actors to lure people like me into watching these films. And it works. I'm guilty of watching this nonsense because it has Jaleel White and Robert Picardo in it. But I always try to see the good in these things. Even this film had some things. But you can see the writers are so afraid to actually write characters. It makes the company look bad, and it even hurts the channel because you see this and you're like, what happened in making shows like Stargate or Farscape? You just see crap that makes no sense. Unlike Moby Dick, at least I can say there was some character development attempted with these characters. Of course, Mega Shark vs. Crocosaurus is a copy of the famous Godzilla-verse films. Plus, it's a sequel to a previous Asylum movie, Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus. But besides featuring the same shark, nothing actually connects to the previous film. No one came back, so you don't even have to watch it. If you watched Moby Dick that just came out 1 month before this film, it feels very much like. Even several of the sets of the Pequod are recycled, including that stupid blank keyboard. What got me really mad, a lot of the plot fixing issues in Moby Dick I suggested were done in this film. So if you combined this and Moby Dick, we might have gotten one good film out of it. Or it's the reason why the Moby Dick plot was so bad, because the ideas were used here. The movie's not just a joke on the Godzilla-verse films, it includes a mixture of Jurassic Park and even a small bit of Resident Evil. The first game, not the movies. Now, how does this movie actually use what people are probably watching it for? Jaleel White's character, Terry McCormick. He's much like a mixture of Urkel, Stefan, and Ahab. Most of his character is a copy of Ahab. Not as stupid, though.
No one can conclusively say that the Megalodon was killed by the giant cephalus.
Lieutenant McCormick, you can leave my deck.
But he does end up hunting the beast, much like him. I want to say good things about his character. In the start of the film, he had something. He's the guy who loves the weird job. He's trying to test using certain sounds to control sharks. It's why he joined the military. He doesn't totally fit in. He has problems in following orders. And I also think he took the assignment on the boat so he could be with his girlfriend.
I love you, even though you like to play with big fish.
It's an okay start. These 5 minutes feel like a movie, but the character building goes down the drain. The biggest issue with this film is pacing. I thought Moby Dick was fast, but this is freaking nuts. When the first shark attack hits, you start laughing. In a good movie, we would get, I'd say, 20 minutes of building McCormick's character, his girlfriend, what the ship is doing out in the ocean, building up the rough edges between the captain and McCormick. Within 8 minutes, boom, shark flies in. This battle scene is a joke. The ship takes damage, but the first shot of the shark is it flying over the top of the ship, just barely clipping it while everyone is acting like they took a direct hit from a missile. The next thing is the whole logic of the scene. This is a military boat. It goes in disarray. No one is reporting to the captain what happened. Everyone is just manning guns without orders. Others are just running around, almost like they're hired extras and have no actual training. And somehow, this shark clipping the top of the ship gets McCormick's girl killed, along with several people dying inside the ship, while nothing else around them is damaged. The boat doesn't even look like it's at battle stations. There's no blinking lights. It's just a huge disconnect with what the film is saying is going on with what we're actually seeing. This will be a theme throughout the film. So after like 4 minutes, the ship sinks and the only survivor is McCormick, of course. Somehow the boat floods and goes underwater within seconds. This movie is just set piece after set piece. There's no connecting bits to join them because they can't afford the effects needed for these shots. And I was complaining about effects in Moby Dick. This movie has shots that have errors and mistakes from someone using After Effects for like 10 minutes. It's ridiculous how bad these effects can get. This is why I don't get Asylum. You want to make movies to be like Deep Impact, be about the spectacle and not the story, but you don't have the money to do that, and you won't spend the effort on the story or give the actors a chance to cover up the areas on where you can't show it. You have bad effects and bad story pieced together. It feels like 20 minutes was cut out of the film. It's that disjointed. Next up is the Croc Monster introduction, which suffers from the same damn problem Moby Dick had where giant monsters never get spotted. So we have this horrible guy using slaves to dig in a mine. When they find something that looks like a diamond, it's not one. They stumble on a cave of a giant Crocosaurus, so they were finding eggshells. The croc promptly woke up and attacked everyone. Half the people got killed, others ran away, and like magic, no one reports the giant croc. It's just said that something happened at the site. Somehow, the 1,500-foot croc turned on its cloaking device and just disappears. Oh, trust me, both of these monsters will be doing other magical things like using fast travel as they check off the action scenes. With giant monsters, we need a monster hunter, so in comes in Nigel Putman. Somehow, this guy is a walking GPS signal because people will be finding him in bars as he walks in. He's basically a crappier version of Roland Tembo from Jurassic Park 2. Coming up on the dumbest scene in the movie, so Nigel is greeted by a businesswoman who owns the mining site that got attacked by the croc. It's not really explained and she wants to hire him. One, she's dressed in a full-on suit, making her actually worse than What's-Her-Face in Jurassic World running in high heels. Yeah, lady, you go put on a $1,000 outfit where you have to investigate murders at a mining site, not to mention at 100 degrees in a black suit, from the amount Nigel is sweating. Plus, she has no information on what happened, just that the miners and that messed up guy was killed. What if it was crazy murderers killing them? You just gonna walk in there like that? The character is supposed to be awkward, but you can't just dump every kind of dumb into her. I can't buy it when it goes that far.
If I wrote you a check now, then let's just say it was a methane leak.
This is when I realized that Art Asylum doesn't care about their work when they filmed body parts on the prop side that had no detail. You have no money, your props are not going to be amazing, so you pick the side that looks the best for the camera. They couldn't even be bothered to just put the arm in front. There was no reason for this. But what's it matter? 2 minutes later, after the city girl being grossed out by the body parts, she walks right up to a creek where she meets the 1,500-foot croc that somehow was hiding under her. At least in Moby Dick, there was space for Moby to hide under the guy. This. There was no attempt in making this work, from the location to the green screen filming. You could have had the croc come in out of frame and eat her. It still would look like crap, but it would have made more sense. Instead, they had the croc lift her up, and you could see they didn't even give her proper direction. We hear her screaming, but you can see her just looking around confused while she's badly tracked on the CG croc, then gets eaten off screen. To finish it off, we have a horrible battle with Nigel. He runs into the cave. The croc stands outside the entrance while he just casually runs under her and doesn't move. Then turns around, reacts after 4 years, and eats him, which gives him the chance to trank the croc inside her mouth. I gotta ask, why is there a goddamn jump cut when Nigel gets eaten? The Croc's CG, Nigel's filmed on a green screen, which is obvious. They're both separate from the background, and there's a jump cut? This isn't even the best part. Nigel, off screen, puts the 1,500-foot Croc on a truck and drives it through town to two guys to sell it off. Yeah, I want you to find a truck that can haul the Empire State Building through town. All you had to do was to have it at a more reasonable size. Then again, I'm talking to a company that shows the Croc laying on a double-length trailer bed, not tied down, and they were so lazy they copy-pasted the truck to add the extra length and didn't even bother fixing where the tires went on top of the car. Jaleel White, Robert Picardo, why are you in a movie like this? Not to mention the city still doesn't know about the giant monsters. That phased cloaking device is working real good. Now don't bother caring about Nigel's partners. They'll vanish from the movie in the next 5 minutes. They have this stupid argument whether one of them will get his 10%.
Tell him I want my 10%.
Well, I mean, I was thinking 50%.
10%.
Shut up.
They'll film this worthless scene, but not use this time to build McCormick's character or Nigel's character. Oh yeah, we have to get back to McCormick. He's rescued, being interrogated, and I hate to say it, White's acting gets worse throughout the movie. You can see he really didn't care about it. That or he was given crummy direction.
I need the data. I need the data because,
Would you like some water?
Yeah, no, I need the data.
He basically slowly turns into the Deus Ex Machina. After some back and forth with secret agent Tough Woman, because that's all she does in the film.
Not a talker? Good. I'll talk, you listen.
Transfers McCormick over to a ship where we meet Robert Picardo's character, Admiral Calvin. I will say this, he is the only good thing about this film. You could see he's having fun. Picardo doesn't always play characters that are captains or plays the hard ass, and he was isolated enough from the rest of the dumb crap in the film, he was able to give an okay performance.
Every seaman, from recruit to special agent to me, we are all dedicated to hunting, finding, and killing the Carcharochus megalodon.
I really wish White and Picardo worked in a better production when they did scenes together. It was the only time I cared about the movie.
So why are you on my ship?
Hunt, find, and kill the megalodon.
Excellent.
I was like, wow, I wish these two were doing this on Stargate Atlantis, not here. Now, the only time the movie actually gets the size of the Croc right, when we see it badly composited on top of an oil tanker, that would be the only thing big enough to move it. And of course the tanker gets attacked by the shark. So I guess the next day, because this movie has no concept of time, they found a crane that could load a building-sized Croc on a supertanker and went on their journey back to wherever they were going to sell it. Yeah, how much money does Nigel have? Because I doubt he could afford a tanker and all this special equipment. And of course, the mega shark knows where the Croc is and attacks the ship. I just love this scene because the Croc is tied down with simple human-sized ropes that one guy can cut one of the ends off to get it free and off the boat.
You sure that thing isn't gonna wake up?
Nope.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
So we have magic rope in this movie that can hold these monsters at bay. Too bad no one made fishing nets out of the stuff. The ship's destroyed, Nigel and one of his guys bail off the boat and wash up on shore. The other guy killed off. This is where both stories merge. Finding out about the Crocosaurus, so they're forced to deal with the two monsters. They're not too far from Florida at this point when the Admiral orders secret agent lady to get Nigel. Remember how he was thrown overboard and washed up somewhere? She knows where he ended up and walks right into the bar 2 minutes later. So in the span of hours, because we don't see the sunset or anything, we got Nigel found and brought on board Calvin's ship. McCormick is attempting to adapt his sound device to act as an attractor for the shark. Then we find out that the reason why the shark is going after the Croc is that it wants to eat the Croc's eggs, which we also find out that it asexually produces within the same time and hatches the same day. Because the only other option is to say all of Florida lost their eyes over several weeks as their Croc laid eggs near the shoreline. Pick whatever poison you want. Maybe Moby Dick made their eyes break. We get another bad shark versus military fight while McCormick argues with the captain on what to do about the eggs and monsters. They're about to hatch, the shark's destroying their ships. It even grabs a rocket in its mouth while that captain just watches, doesn't self-destruct it. The shark somehow doesn't trigger it to blow up either. Some of the other ships blow up a few of the eggs, so now the croc heads to land and starts attacking it Jurassic Park 2 style, where we get, hang on, a nuclear power plant being turned into a weapon. Plants in this movie have the power to produce an...
The lights team just contacted us. They need an arc flash immediately.
Shooting out lightning, attacking the mother croc. Any type of seriousness the movie had during Act 1 and the first half of Act 2 is thrown out for this BS. It's just filled with jokes like the Japanese poster of the movie on a building, the baby crocs hatching. They said they'd be 30 feet tall, but in reality they're just the same CG model as the mother and just as big. After the power plant makes the croc leave land, we head into Act 3 and the final nonsense on Hawaii. Oh, I need to mention...
It's got a nuclear submarine inside it!
So for the remainder of the movie, everyone just stopped shooting at it because they were afraid they might detonate the nukes, even though the movie has shown the shark can withstand explosions. Actually, thinking about it now, the croc is just as strong as a shark, but Nigel's tranq darts were able to knock it out. Yeah, I know I should be losing brain cells, not mentioning plot holes. You know what's really stupid? The whole point of the movie is to have this massive fight between the mega shark and Crocosaurus. It took over an hour for them to actually start fighting each other. This whole time they were blowing up ships and the city. You want to know how this all ends? How they beat these two giant epic monsters? It's very simple. McCormick, who's been whining up to this point about his sound machine not working, gets angry.
And I'm not gonna stop until they're both dead.
Which then unlocks his crest of courage. Both Nigel and McCormick do a stupid as hell slow-mo run towards the croc as McCormick digivolves his sound machine to the next level, which gains the ability to control volcanoes.
We're gonna blow up a volcano.
Oh yeah, with what?
With this.
I'm not joking. He lures the two monsters as they fight into the area, and the volcano blows, taking all the babies with them. To end the movie with a Marvel post-credit scene.
I just got a call from Japan. Giant lizard.
I don't know what to say, except Art Asylum, make up your mind with your film. If you're going to commit to total parody, then do it right out of the gate. Don't try to play this off serious, then change the tone in the last 2 acts. This is such a bad movie, and there's more sequels to it. It makes your brain hurt, the plot is worse than Moby Dick. And you know what sucks? I got one movie left, and it's worse than this. Thanks for checking out the review. Subscribe if you want to see more, and if you remember a movie or show that's long been forgotten, good or bad, leave it as a suggestion below. I'm always on the lookout for obscured stuff.